The E Entertainment coverage was possibly
It was
the worst coverage.
Talking of awards,
Golden
what do you think of the Golden Globes?
Golden Globes awards. Okay, well, I'm really thankful that I actually watched the Golden Globes not live, but on fast forward, because the E Entertainment coverage was possibly the worst coverage you could ever have for an award show.
Well, I was watching it on E live at 2:00 in the morning UK time, and something was going wrong with the show in that you had the opening credits and then suddenly it cut to a commercial break, and then you got 2 minutes of the show and then cut to a commercial break in the middle of Ricky Gervais talking.
In the middle of Ricky Gervais' speech. It's
in
ridiculous.
the middle of them announcing an award, announcing the nominations, it cuts to a commercial. And what happened was, within the space of 15 minutes, there were 4 commercial breaks, which all had the same adverts in them. And if I had to see one more advert for keeping up with the Kardashians, I was going to...
Bleep. Apologies.
What is it? What they called? I assume it's Kardashians. But I thought, weren't they on Star Trek: The Next Generation?
Well, the Kardashians, they sort of got around and got under your skin, and somehow, before you know it, there's a whole bunch of Kardashians everywhere.
It's like it's the American version of Jordan. What has she done to deserve her show and to be famous?
She just is. The fact that they actually had commercials during Ricky Gervais' monologue was just ridiculous.
Yes. What I did enjoy...
It did ruin the award show.
What I've got to say, though, is what I do enjoy about the Golden Globes is, let's be frank, actors and film directors and whatever, it's a form of entertainment. That's all it is. They're not teachers. They're not doctors. They're not policemen or firemen who are risking their lives to save us. They're not anything of that level, and yet George Clooney is earning how much money to do something when you have, as I said, firemen and policemen who don't even earn in a year what George Clooney earns in a few minutes.
Yes, no, sure.
Saving people's lives, or doctors, or teachers, nurses, and if
Ricky Gervais wants to make a rude comment, I think they can take it for about.
And what I do like about the Golden Globes is when you watch the Oscars, they take it so seriously, and it's so dated, and they have those awful musical numbers, and it's just like the Golden Globes seem to understand people want it quick. They don't want all this messing around. They want it a bit fun. Half the actors there are drunk out of their minds when they're picking up their awards, and it's pacey, and I actually found it more enjoyable. I disagreed with a lot of their winners and nominations, but I would love it.
What would you have liked to have seen then? Game of Thrones should have.
I haven't seen Homeland yet. I would like to. I would really like to see Homeland. Yeah. I have to say, I've watched American Horror Story. It's fun. It's perverse. Blah blah blah. But really, to be nominated as one of the best TV shows, especially when you've got The Walking Dead and True Blood out there, Game of Thrones, Peter Dinklage absolutely, totally deserved his Emmy, but I was very shocked that none of the rest of the cast,
no one else,
or the writers, or the directors received nominations.
You could have put several of that cast.
And you could have taken that cast, and you could turn it into a show about New York mobsters, and they would have all been nominated. But, I kind of feel you couldn't ignore what Peter Dinklage did. The fact that he got the award, actually, I think shows he's an even bigger star.
Yes.
The one thing I would argue is he a supporting actor on it, though?
He is. And actually, it's a shame that Sean Pertwee wasn't up there, because he's got no chance to be nominated for any future series.
You mean Sean Bean?
Sean Bean, sorry, yeah. Sean Bean.
Well, actually, I thought Peter Dinklage was getting more screen time on the show than Sean Bean did.
Was he? I think that...
I mean, for me, watching the show, I felt, the ones who, for me, were the leads were Tyrion Lannister, God, what was the one? Daenerys, and Asia Stark were the ones who I felt were the ones who had the most interesting storylines going on. And, of course, Jon Snow.
Jon Snow is on the periphery at this stage, but I guess
you can really tell the way it's being set up. Yeah. That's all the pieces are being put in for something big there with his character.
Yeah. No, interesting. Okay, well, I think we have to
We've got to wrap it up
'cause
now.
we've got to start prepping for Talking Who.